Almost every community that experiences a shooting, you'll first hear, we never thought it would happen here. And so that sense of denial has been shaken to our core. It happened in our backyards. So there's a couple things to keep in mind given that it's so close to home, and also keeping in mind the fact that kids have different needs at different ages. For kids age 5 and younger, they really don't need to have any information about the event, and we should really be careful to make sure they don't overhear and get inadvertently exposed, for example, to TV news. They may pick up on parents' expressions, and if they do, just give a simple reassurance, something sad happened, but everything's okay now and you're safe. School-age children have slightly different needs. They're going to hear about this event at school. So typically it's better if the parent themselves sit down and talk to the child and let them know exactly what happened. So that may include a brief explanation. There was a shooting at the landing. Some people got hurt, some got killed. But then quickly to transition into asking them how they feel about it, what kinds of thoughts they have about it, and talk about coping. What are some different ways they can cope with these feelings? And in addition, what are some ways we as parents can keep them safe and reassure them that there are other adults and routines in place at schools and in their community to help keep them safe. Teens are unique, so in fact I think in a lot of families, teens might have been the first in the family to alert their family that something had happened. And repetitive exposure to violent and or very graphic information can be damaging to kids' developing brains. They don't have the life experience we do to know how to cope with that. So it's important to make sure that we're helping teens regulate their access to this information, and also talk to them about ways that they can self-regulate. For example, there's a clip that's very disturbing of the audio during the event, and I would recommend that parents don't allow their teens to watch that. Teens have a variety of emotions, so they're more likely than younger kids to respond not just with sadness or fear, but also anger and outrage. So it's important to listen to their teens' feelings, even if they're very different than the ones that you're experiencing, and validate those. Coping's a little different with teens too. They're more likely to want to take action, and so you can talk with them about different ways they may want to help a victim's family. They may choose to take some type of political action to help guarantee it doesn't happen again. So talking to them about a variety of ways that they can feel more in control and do something is often helpful. Don't be surprised if you see some change in sleep and maybe even eating habits. Your kids may be having nightmares. You may also see some avoidance. Some kids may not want to go to school. Unfortunately, in our community, this event was preceded by a shooting at a high school football game, and most kids are aware of that. So to expect some immediate anxiety is pretty typical. I would continue to talk about it with your child, talk about the ways they're staying safe, talk about actions they can take to help keep themselves safe, and continue to help them cope in terms of those feelings. If that anxiety persists after the next couple of weeks, I usually advise parents that they get input from their pediatrician, who is often a good resource for then referring children and families if they need it for professional help.